Hello, how are you? This is Rachel from sweetbeepaperco. I am here with week 5 of my Summer Fun Ephemera Challenge. If you make anything that we do in these weeks, make sure you use the hashtag SummerFunEphemera and make sure you tag me so I can see what you make. I like to repost them to my Instagram stories, and my Instagram is linked down below. And let's get started with week 5. So I know I have I know you probably also have a bunch of napkins since, we, how do I want to say that? So this week we are playing with napkins and we are playing with some note cards again. So you'll need napkins, note cards, glue, instant coffee, and a sprayer bottle that is not leaking. No. This is the easiest way I found to do the coffee sprayed note cards or coffee dyed. Is I really like using the spray bottle because it, gives us that sprayed effect. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to prep one of these taller napkins. I've got the other ones I'm going to show you right now ready to go. So I don't want to make cards with this whole napkin. So what I'm going to do is just cut this in half. So if you are mass making and you don't want to cut it in half or whatever, you can do that. But I also found working with a smaller piece was just a little bit easier, like at a time. So get your backings off of your napkin whatever way you like. You can use tape. I'm just using a piece of washi tape right here. You can use Scotch tape. I've tried glue, whatever you like to get the backs off. Aren't these gorgeous? I found these on vacation at that Tuesday morning. They had so many pretty napkins. Oh, there's another one I need to do too. I also got this one on vacation I wanted to do as well. So I did a bunch of these before vacation. Picked up some more napkins. Now I need to make more. Aren't these cute? I found these at World Market. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Just cut it in half. Are going to grab your glue stick. The kind of glue stick. I use the Scotch Create permanent glue stick. It's just my favorite. I think the glue stick works better for this project. But if you don't want to use glue stick, that's up to you. So this is why I kind of like doing half of the napkin. So I've got the smaller index cards. I think these are 3x5s. And then I've got the 4x6s. So the way I was doing this was laying down 2 of those and then doing my 4x6 vertical and then just laying. So this is what we're going to be gluing, and we'll have a little bit left over there. If you want to, you could also do 2 4x6s like this. Let's see if that will work too. Oh yeah, let's do this time. So let me rip out the magazine. I just kind of wanted to show you ways you can lay them out to get maximum note card coverage. That way you just have to lay it down once, you know what I mean? And then for the smaller ones, I would just do that. For the smaller cut of napkins, we'll do one here in a second because they are pretty small. That's probably the way I will go. But okay, so this is what I do next. Is I just take my glue stick, cover up the cards, Usually I just left the magazine pages in the books so that I could just turn to the next page, but since we're doing a bigger one, I really don't want to get, I just cleaned my mat today. I really don't want to get glue all over the mat, so it looks like I'm on the struggle bus right now, but if you just leave them in the magazine, you're probably okay. Okay, so I've got glue. Okay, I've got glue all over my note cards. So now I'm going to take my napkin and crumple it up. That's right, I just smashed it all up. Okay, someday we'll put the by the time I get the napkin on here, this is going to be dry. Okay, uncrumple your napkin. Put it down on your note cards. I am just having the worst time showing this. And just push it down. And I put it on straight, but once you crumple it, you're kind of losing a little bit of surface area. Okay, just push it down, just push it down. There we go. So we've got our, if you've got a little bit of paper not covered, don't worry about it. You can trim that off later if you want. So now I am just going to messily just trim around these. And since I waited so long to put them down with the glue, they're not the greatest done, so the next batch should will hopefully go better, because I'm not going to do that many again. I'm just very loosely cutting. You don't have to be precise with this. I wouldn't rip if I were you, because when you start ripping, you start pulling, and you'll start pulling it up from the card. I waited till these were dry and tried to rip them then, and I just would rip them off of the card, so I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, I waited don't wait super long to put them on the card. But we're probably going to kind of reactivate the glue with the coffee, so don't worry about it. Okay, let's do another one real quick. So this is basically your first step is getting that on to the note card. Okay, so now I'm just going to do these three here. So you don't have to crumple either. I don't think I'm going to crumple this one because it fits kind of perfectly on there. So I'm just going to leave the magazine pages on there and just start gluing. I did this before at my kitchen counter and it just went so much better. There, so I'm going to line these back up because I'm just having problems tonight. And then I'm just going to lay this on here. I'll just have them all be trimmed off at the top and pushed down. That's okay. It's okay. We'll just make that look like that. Okay, same thing. I just cut them apart, trimming off some of the excess and just making sure I've got it all pushed down. Isn't that cute? Okay. One last one. Let's try to redeem myself here. I'm just going to use 2 bigger cards. Glue. If you want to experiment with different types of glue, let me know how it goes. Oh, I should have crumpled it. I forgot. Oh, that's so pretty. Where did I get this one? I think I got this one at Tuesday morning as well. I tried to get ones that were a little different instead of just always getting flowers. I think that is the most annoying part, getting them on the cards. If you don't have a coffee mixture done up, let me talk about how to make it. So I just buy instant coffee, brand doesn't matter. And I take this spray bottle. This is pretty small. This is an 8-ounce spray bottle from Walmart. You can find these at the Dollar Tree as well, I believe. I think I got this. Yeah, this is a Walmart coffee. I think Dollar Tree has some too, just a smaller one. You can grab it from there as well. So what I do is they have a little teaspoon in there. I do about a teaspoon, like a rounded teaspoon and a half into the bottom of the spray bottle. And then I very slowly add water. And I don't usually fill it all the way up because it starts to bubble. So I usually fill it up maybe like 3/4. Stick your lid on or the top on. Make sure that the little twisty nozzle is closed, and then just shake for a while. And then do some test sprays into your sink. I think putting the coffee in first, I always had better luck doing that. It seemed to just make less of a mess for me, but that is entirely up to you, whichever way you want to do it. So I bought these giant pans from Sam's Club. It's like a bulk store here in the US. I bought a bunch of these. They're just aluminum. You can see this has been through the ringer. This is what I use like whenever I do the note cards to put in the oven or paper. I just use these. And so all I'm going to do is just lay out my note cards on here. Okay, so I've got my coffee and I've got my nozzle set to just like a nice spray. So now, normally I would do this over my sink because you can get some splatter. I'm just going to start spraying these, and I'll kind of talk about it as I'm spraying. I don't just sit and just, kind of go in one spot. I kind of go like this. I'll kind of just start really light and then just kind of see kind of how it looks. Kind of start going around. So usually I'll just do like one little spray kind of like that. I kind of concentrate it more towards the middle. It really doesn't matter too much because it'll get towards the outside some. So there we go. And then I will just keep moving on. See, so like these where the edge is kind of left, where I didn't get napkin. It's getting some of the coffee spray too, so I may not trim that off. We'll see how, they look when they're done. So they're going to start to bubble a little bit. That's okay. They'll lay. If they bubble too much around your edges, go ahead and push them down. But in the middle, it's kind of cool looking. So let me just go ahead and get the rest of these done. So these orange ones, I don't expect too much of a difference. But these should really kind of show. So you can do like little swirls, little whatever. Okay. And then I kind of let it sit for a second and just kind of see what's happened to these. And see if I want to do another round on them. And I think I do. Because they're not super dark. But I kind of just want to give them a minute to kind of change a little bit. Because they'll start to like ripple a little bit and kind of pick up some of the coffee in there, which looks really cool. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go in with another couple sprays, especially on these since they're so light. These I'll do another layer too, why not? And these definitely. Okay. So, yeah, definitely I would not put these in the oven. You want these to kind of dry naturally. So, I put these like on my front porch in the sun, and in a couple minutes, they're like freaking dry so fast. So, yeah, that's it for this part. I'm going to go ahead and Well, it's not night. It's not daytime right now, so I'll just stick them on the counter, and they'll be dry by the morning. But I have some finished I want to show you. So your coffee that you just mixed up, you can store that in your fridge for a little while, actually, because it doesn't have anything mixed in with it, like a sweetener or milk or whatever. So I just stick mine in my fridge for a while, and it does just fine. So I'm just getting out some distress inks. Don't need the dauber. This part is up to you, but the effect it kind of gives them is really cool. But first, let me show you some of the experiments I did. These four, actually, okay. So on these, it's all the same napkin design. So on this one, I used a napkin that I had already coffee sprayed and dried, and I did not put any coffee on the top of it. So if you want to coffee stain some and then do a napkin on top and have like this, it looks amazing. It really does. But this is also on a napkin that has a lot of lighter spots. I'm pretty sure this one was a white one. So it shows up really nicely. This one, I used a coffee dyed one, but I also sprayed coffee on the top of it. So I had like, this is a really light blue one. I don't think it's worth, unless you plan on doing them like this, I don't think I would take the time to spray them and dry them first, because it didn't really give me that kind of effect I wanted, but it is really pretty, especially on these white ones. But I only have a couple that have that white background, you know? Okay, so on these, this was the way I just showed you. Put glue down, put the napkin down, and then sprayed with coffee. So this one was just one layer of coffee, a pretty heavy layer actually, but this was just like the one spray, that was it. This was when I did the one spray, I went back and did another spray on it, so I'm getting a lot more of that coffee on it there, and it kind of spread out some more. So just to kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. This one, I went in with, I think it's a distress ink on it to kind of see what it looked like, and it just kind of did this. So I won't be using those sprays on here. It's just a little too strong. So next step is this. I have a couple ready to finish. These are dry. So what I'm going to do, and I didn't show this part, but I further trimmed some of the napkin off that was sticking off. If you have these little pieces like this on here, I would just leave them. They're fine. But if you have a lot of excess, I would go ahead and take that off. So, and then, I mean, they look amazing the way that they are, but I think adding some distress ink to them like this just really kind of gives them more depth, and it just looks amazing. So I'm going to use, I think Vintage Photo first. I think this is the one I used on most of the other ones. So I'm going to go ahead and do the edges. So I'm just going to take the ink pad and just lightly go around and brush the edges. I'm not trying to put a ton of color on there, just enough to like define the edges. So there's the difference you can see between those two, just with a little bit of ink on the edges. So let's go ahead and do around this one, and I'm just lightly brushing. Next, I'm going to kind of hold this in my palm like this. I'm going to take the top, and all of these little ridges, like from when we crumpled it up and from just from it drying, from being wet with the coffee, gives us these nice ridges. So I'm just going to take the distress pad and very, very lightly go over the note card. See? It definitely ages it a little bit. Looks really nice. And then you need to sit it down and let it dry, because this takes a little bit to dry. I found that out the hard way by getting it all over So what can you use these? You can use these as little journaling cards. You can fold them like the bigger ones and make little cards to write in. You can write notes to your pen pals on them when you send them. So the backs will be kind of nice and coffee stained up on a few of them. So I put a little bit of washi on here too. I don't know why I put strawberry washi on like an orange napkin, but that's really cute. And then you can decorate these on the front as well. You could do a little collage on them, a little sentiment like we made a couple weeks ago. I don't know. I didn't decorate them because I just like how they look so much. So, okay, let's talk about this one. So I glued this on the notepad kind of upside down if you flip it this way. If you flip it this way, it's okay. If you do that, you could just take a piece of, or a strip of washi. I'm going to put a little bit of glue down. This washi is pretty good, but you know what? You never know. Especially if I have this like going in and out of a pocket. So you can still see the note card red line on there. But you get the point. So you could... See, that's really cute just how it is. But if you want to add something else to it, I also recommend maybe stamping a little bunny. That's so cute. So tons of possibilities with these. Let me show you all of the ones I have made. They're so cool. I love the bunnies. I had the hardest time getting the bunnies centered. Can you tell? This one I think is my favorite. I tried rounding the corners on this one and it was okay. But you know, if it does come up around the edges like that, then it might be a little hard. But this is so cute. Love this one too. So some of these are not going to fit in my little container, and that is okay. And then the fern napkin, which is also one of my favorite napkins, looks awesome. So like I have some fern washi. See, I did the, well, I guess it really isn't upside down, but ooh, let's put that on there. I love doing like the strips of washi and then trimming off the edges. So cute. I love these. I love the bigger ones. That one turned out really neat. This one is so pretty. I think this is from a napkin that Stacy from Flighty Rambler sent me. So pretty. I think this one too. This one's from Stacy too. Had some issues. And these turned out so pretty. I made an absolute ton of these. I just kind of kept going. Accidentally ripped that one. Seahorses are so cute. Love that one. Love this one. And then I made a couple bigger ones. I don't know which one's my favorite. I love them all. But... so what I plan on doing is putting them in my container, and when I need something for a pocket, I think I will decorate it then, or put a backing on it then, depending on like what I'm doing. But I have the biggest part done that's more of a pain, you know what I mean? So they're all ready, because it does take some time, especially to dry. Yeah, but they're so pretty. Love them so much. I really hope you like these, and tag me if you make them. Okay, so let's talk about what you are going to need for week 6 next week. You're going to need your stamps. You are going to need a permanent ink. I like using the Ranger archival ink. And you are going to need some fabric. Plain would work the best. Maybe some linen. Maybe some cotton. You'll need some fabric scraps that are decorative fabric or printed fabric, which is optional. And you'll need some some lace as well. Something like that. I know it all sounds kind of weird. We're kind of doing two different things. We're going to make some clusters, and then we're just going to straight stamp on some fabric just to have those ready to add to other things. That is for next week. I'm really, really excited about it. Also, don't forget to keep saving your junk mail envelopes. That video is coming up soon. I just am wanting to give you a heads up for these so you have some time to save them. That is it for this week and what you'll need for next week. I hope you like these. I love how they turned out. They're so pretty. And yeah, I will see you next week. Bye!